like that first column on the blue thing here, coupled with watering system, that might be similar to what you might use. You might use more than a normal household does because you're watering flowers at your greenhouse there, right? So it's like $200.
Excuse, does that satisfy you, Roger, before I move on?
What?
Your question? I didn't know if you were in the middle of
It's gonna cost me another $200 a year.
Well, $12 a month for the time water and flowers. Over on the right,
Yeah.
on the top one.
Help me understand, the school and Good Shepherd, Rushford Foods, big users of water, you know, but based on the gallons, right? That they use, regardless of the size of the meter. They're the biggest users, but they're the ones that are saving. They're the ones that are saving the most.
Yeah.
How does that square with the concept of a conservation rate?
Because they're paying the higher rate for the gallons they use, but they're not paying the higher rate for their base fee.
They
They were
have several
paying-
meter fees,
Yeah.
right, Kathy?
Yep, and those
Yeah.
are gone now.
Like
They
that
have one
3-inch
base
meter
fee.
might have
Okay.
been $250 a month, now it's only gonna be $33.
So,
And
but
they're
in effect, we're not really not charging for the water then. Or I mean, the conservation rate really isn't based on the water usage, it's based on the meter rate.
No,
No,
the
it's based on
conservation
the water
rate,
use.
yeah, on the front
What
page.
I understand, they're paying for the water,
It's
but
offset because we're not charging what we had been charging for the meters. The argument all along would be that we paid for this meter how many times because of the way you're charging us? You get charged all the time
Okay.
on that meter.
and that I get, you know, that.
So if you're just looking dollar to dollar, but if you eliminate the meter charge and you just look at the water, because those meters aren't on there anymore, there's that significant savings. But if you look up at the sewer, they're gonna be paying more for their sewer.
But right now, the extra water, they're paying $7.25 a thousand, they're gonna be paying, 10 for their extra water. So they are paying more for the water that they use.
Their bill is less.
Their bill is less because it's offset by their lower meter rate.
So the conservation rate does what it's intended to do, which is charge more for more water use. It's just because they have so many meters, they're actually seeing a reduction in their bill.
And people like the car wash, they aren't paying a real high monthly meter fee as it is now, cause it's only 1.5 inch meter. And they are a big user, so they're not seeing as much of a reduction as everybody else, because they had a lower monthly to begin with, but high usage. But it's still not as painful as the original plan. We've tried to make it be fair, but yet not real painful.
And I think one of the changes you said with the new plan is if somebody comes in that's gonna be a large user, or need 3-inch meter or 2-inch meter, they may have to pay for that meter up front,
They'll have to
correct?
pay up front more than.
Instead of the monthly fee like we have now?
We need to do a policy change to that, but they will pay for the meter.
Yeah.
Right.
A one-time payment.
And right now, there's
Yes,
just
it's a lot.
$1,000 fee to hook up. We'll just have to change the policy to say $1,000 hookup fee plus
Plus meter.
X number of dollar meter fee if it's over a standard size meter.
And if it's a new business and that's a sensitive issue, we can charge it over, maybe a few months or a little while, so that it's not all at once. But that's the goal. get them to pay for the oversized cost of the meter.
So when they come next week, or 2 weeks from now, they'll have this information, but they'll have like a regular presentation, like we did before, the PowerPoint type thing with, you know, for any visitors that are here that have questions about how it will be.
Please ask them to make it merciful.
We're gonna cut it way short.
Yeah.
It won't have to be so.
It's painful enough.
Keep it reading. What is the deal on fluoride? Are we a file use it or what? Is that a law?
We put fluoride in our water, yes, according to the best practices of the state of Minnesota.
Parts per million, whatever.
Whatever.
It's per million, I believe.
Billion, probably.
I'm not a
It's per
proponent
million,
of
I think.
fluoride.
Spit that part out.
What?
Spit that part out, it's just a little bit.
I'm not in favor of it.
All right, let's move on. HBC.
Before we get too deep in the discussion, I just would like to remind council that because this is, they've offered a price in the building, you should not get into a position where the council is making a counteroffer or talking dollars, whether you, if you disagree with the price and you vote, and you don't accept their offer, you should probably just leave it at that rather than say it's too low or what a number might be. They have offered $40,000 for the building. They've also asked for 15 days to conduct any inspections, and then 10 days to review the title. So that's the offer. And they say that that's the highest that they'll go.
I think that's a fair offer.
And it's going to get on the tax rolls.
Yeah. There'll be one more building built in town.
They would pay for all the renovations, if any, and the cooler, if the cooler is not up to par or whatever.
That actually is a freezer in the back, so that's of no use to them. They'd have to install something else, yes. The only sticking point would be is if they find something on the inspection, they may ask for a reduction in price.
So, what, building inspection or some other inspections as well, or?
They'll bring in an inspector and they'll look over the wiring and look over the plumbing and all of that, carpet.
And that's at their expense.
The inspection is at their expense, correct, but if they find something, they're going to ask us to reduce the price.
No. Didn't Travis go in there and do the wiring and sheet rocking and everything like that?
Yes, we believe the building's is in good
Yeah.
condition.
If they ask for a lower price, then we'd have the right to say yes or no again, correct, at that time, or?
Correct. If you accept this price and they come back and say that,
We need 5,000 off.
what it does is the inspection allows them to say that they don't want it, if, you know, or they'll take it at a lower price. That's the only contingent, that and the title has to be clear.
Is there anything unforeseen about the title? So that shouldn't be a stumbling block.
Shouldn't be.